that you have there. That took me like 10 minutes to write. Like, this is not a big deal. Like, this is not hard stuff. It's very, very easy stuff. And if you're writing code that chops and dices MP3 files already, like DAI stuff does, it is trivial to also do this. I just think fundamentally, nobody who makes podcasts
player written by one of the hosts of the show, like, this is the ideal audience for people who would look for, understand how to use and appreciate chapters, good show notes, all that other stuff. Whereas if you are a mass market troop, then maybe if you're talking about crime scene photos, you might have a link to that crime scene photo or something. But in general, I think people, it's like I was saying before, I don't think people go to the show notes. So that can change. Like, if suddenly a very popular mass market podcast uses show notes well and people appreciate it, then they'll stop expecting it of other shows. That's what our listeners say a lot. They'll say, oh, I'm an ATP listener, and when I listen to popular podcast X, there's not that many of those people, right? So as with many of these things, lots of stuff starts in the tech nerd world, and only like the weird hardcore enthusiasts are into it, and it eventually spreads to the mass market. But so far, that isn't a ton of them, but I'm not always looking at my phone, and a lot of the relay shows do them. When I catch them, I appreciate them, but podcasts are inherently an audio medium, so you can't, like, don't spend too much time on clever chapter art, because if you thought a lot of people don't see the show notes, even fewer are going to see the chapter art.
Thanks to our sponsors this week, Linode, Bluevine, and Bombas, and we will see you next week.
Now the show is over. They didn't even mean to begin, 'cause it was accidental. Oh, it was accidental. John didn't do any research. Marco and Casey wouldn't let him, 'cause it was accidental. Oh, it was accidental. And you can find the show notes at atp.fm. And if you're into Twitter, you can follow them at CASEYLISS. So that's Casey Liss, MARCOARMENT, Marco Arment, SIRAC, USA Syracuse. It's accidental. They didn't mean to. Accidental. Tech podcast so long.
So, John, you wrote an app. Did you have any adventures in programming?
I sure did. And tons more of these things and be even weirder or whatever. But for someone who's not a programmer, it may surprise you that such a simple application can have all these complications. So take this as like a microcosm of what program. And both of my applications sit square in the center of one particular set of bugs, which is, and I even put this in the FAQ, when the Mac operating system has APIs that you can call.
It just doesn't work?
Nope. It just doesn't happen.
Can you at least, do you have any way to detect, can you call the API, bring this app to front, and then can you check, is the app in front like a half second later or something?
You can do stuff like that, but here's the question. What's your recourse then? You're going to call it again?
I guess.
I can tell you from experience that calling it again will not help you. So this is the thing. Are you going to call it 100 times? Safari in the dock, it's already running and you're clicking on it because what you want to happen is what's supposed to happen when you click on an icon in the dock, and it's supposed to bring all the Safari windows forward. And you'll click on the Safari dock icon and maybe one Safari window will come forward. Another one is you'll be in an application and you'll select hide others to hide all the other applications. That's hide others, and a couple applications will hide, but a couple won't. And you can pick it again, hide others. Nope. You can pick it again, hide others. Nope. There's Xcode still in the back there. Why am I set to find any kind of workaround for them? And unfortunately, these two applications I made lean heavily on the APIs for hiding and showing applications. So when I call those APIs and they don't work and I don't have a workaround, I get bug reports. So that's just like background noise for all of this. There's nothing I can really do about that. Are big culprits, but that may also just be because they're commonly used. I don't have a rhyme or reason for this. So anyway, that's not my adventure. All that is to say that these two applications that I made that look super simple, inherently what they do is already challenging because it's not always going to work. The complexity that I added that I didn't think of until about midway through development, and then just had a very sad face when I did. So